Hello and welcome to the Elephant Lounge. I'm your host Tuesday, and I want to thank you for joining me again. And we are continuing on with Leaving Neverland. I want to talk about LaToya. I apologize for the low audio here, but this is not my fault.
Evidence do you have that your brother did in fact sexually abuse these young boys?
I want you to know that there aren't really any evidence. The only thing that I know of, and my mother has actually shown me these things, she's the one that was outraged and brought them to me, that were checks that were written to the little boy's parents. And there are 2 checks that I know of that she has shown me.
Okay, so she says 2 checks. And here's the deal. She's not indulging. She's not exaggerating in anything. She is specifically saying she has seen 2 checks. She didn't say hundreds of checks, just the 2 checks. So she knows that payments are being made to young boys or the parents of young boys.
And it's for a substantial amount of money. And she was outraged over it.
How much?
But I know they were written to the parents of the little boys that would sleep over.
You're just assuming then that it's hush money. Did your mother ever tell you that this money was being given to the alleged the parents of the alleged victims to keep them quiet?
That's why I can't say that it's hush money. Apparently, it was given for some reason. I don't know why, but I do know that she was outraged during that particular time. This is around 84, mind you. And she would say things like, "I can't stand this. He's nothing but a fag. I can't stand this." And I would say, "Mother, don't say that. Just because you see a check doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean anything."
But basically,
and that's the way she took it. Now to this day, she denies it because she has no support. In other words, if she were to go and tell the truth, Michael would drop everything and she would probably be out on the street. So she has to stand by in that way. But the only reason I'm speaking up is because I'm an abused victim, and I don't want to see anyone else hurt like that because I know what it feels like to be hurt.
But basically, I'm sorry, LaToya, I was going to say basically because of these checks shown to you by your mother and the fact that Michael, do you know for sure that he spent 30 nights with this alleged victim?
I have never, ever, Katie, seen Michael in the bed with another boy. Never. I have never seen him.
Okay, so here she's admitting, look, I didn't see anything, but something weird is going on. She is aware that little boys have been spending the night alone with her brother. Again, she's not indulging. She's not exaggerating anything that she knows. Typically, if somebody's lying and they're doing it for some kind of gain, they're going to exaggerate or they're going to make it sound worse than what it is. She's not doing that here.
I do know that he would have boys over all the time. One, of course, and they would stay in the room for days. Then they would come out, and then there would be another boy, and he would bring someone else, but never 2 at a time or anything like that. Let me ask you a question. What 35-year-old man do you know that sleeps with little boys and stays with them for a week or 2 weeks or whatever?
A pedophile. That's exactly something that a pedophile would do. This is not normal behavior. And anyone who tries to say otherwise is fooling themselves. There's no excuse for this. It doesn't matter if he didn't have a childhood. It doesn't matter if his childhood was missing. It just doesn't matter. Normal adults do not behave this way unless, of course, they are pedophiles.
And sleep in the same bed. I'm asking you this question because this is a valid question. It's very open.
And there's an edit here. I'm assuming this is from the Today Show itself. There's some kind of edit here. I'll play that back just one more time. You can hear it. After she asked the question, they cut it.
And sleep in the same bed. I'm asking you this question because this is
That's where the cut is.
Very open. Because most people would say, well, this is totally wrong. It's totally unfair.
Yeah, most people might.
And what you have to remember is that Jordy, I do not know this kid. I have never met this kid. I know nothing about him. But at the same time, I feel bad for him, and no one's caring about Jordy. Jordy is in a very bad position. Even if it's not Michael, his parents have put him in a bad position. And there are a lot of Jordys out there.
There's a lot of Jordys out there.
Have you talked, LaToya, with your parents since making the statements last night in Tel Aviv?
I haven't spoken to my parents, no.
What's your reaction to what your folks had to say, LaToya?
My mother is very much aware of all the children that were there, all the boys that stayed there, and she is the one who always said that Michael, excuse my expression, but he's a faggot, and she would say, that damn faggot, I can't stand him. And that's what she would say all the time, and she knows it, and now she's denying it, and that's what hurts. But what hurts more than anything else is that if she knew that, then why didn't she say something about it, or do something about it, or get help because she felt that he was bothering little kids? I didn't understand the fact that he was bothering little kids. I didn't understand why the checks were written. She was the one who was trying to explain these things to me.
So she knows. So Catherine knows. Of course they know. This is part of the reason why it's necessary to go after the Jackson estate. The money is with her. It's under her control. She knows about it. She knew what was going on, and nobody did anything.
You claim
But
that
now she's denying it and covering it up.
you claim that the reason your mom is siding with Michael is because your parents and the rest of your family are afraid that they'll be cut off financially from him.
He supports every last one of them. Jermaine lives in that house. His children lives in that house. Everybody lives there. He supports them.
You know, your mother also...
And I must tell you this too, Katie. By the way, Michael and I lived at home from anywhere from 10 to 15 years alone without the other brothers because they married very early. They do not know the same Michael that I know. They don't know him whatsoever. And they never did. And when they would come over to the house, Michael would say, have them make an appointment. And I was the in-between guy, like a go-between. I would have to make excuses and say, well, he's busy, he's in his room. He'd run up to his room and say, I don't want to see them, I don't want to be bothered with him. And these are his own brothers. And I would have to make up excuses, and I go, Michael, but they're your brothers. I don't care, I'm busy.
Your mom also said that she thought your husband was a con man and a thug and accused him of beating and brainwashing you. And basically your folks say you're just out for publicity.
So that's where the story comes, because now that she's turned, it seems like they already had a storyline involved to say that she was brainwashed. She just wants publicity. They're going to blame it on the ex-husband of hers. Now, he probably did abuse her. I mean, a lot of women who are abused at home end up being with men who abuse them later on. That doesn't necessarily shock me, but considering everything that we know, it seems unlikely that she's lying in this particular case. She has no real motive to lie. She has a motive now to lie because what other job is she going to do? Where else is she going to go? She has to go back to the family. She has to go with this story that someone else put her up to it.
That's totally untrue. First of all, I don't need it. They also said I was doing it for the money. When you do a press conference, do you do that for the money? I think it's time to speak up and save innocent children.
Have you spoken?
No one has spoke up.
Go ahead, LaToya, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No one has really spoken out properly. No one has said anything about these children. And I think it's totally unfair. You have to ask yourself a lot of questions. There are a lot of questions to be answered and asked at the same time.
How many young children do you believe Michael...
Sorry?
How many young children do you believe Michael victimized?
I can't really answer that.
And have you had an opportunity to speak with your brother yet?
No, I have not. And I have tried, but I have not. I put phone calls in, but nothing has been returned. Absolutely nothing.
Do you think he'll be coming back to the United States, LaToya?
The problem is my parents, especially my mother, more than so my father. My father has no idea. My mother knows that I know a lot, and she's afraid of what I might say, as well as Michael, because they know that I know too much. And now I think it's time to put an end to all of this.
Do you think Michael will come back to the United States?
I have no idea.
All right. LaToya Jackson, thanks very much for talking with us. Perhaps you can come on and talk with us another time. Thank you, LaToya.
Sure.
Well, there you have it. There it is for you to listen to. And I believe her. I believe she was telling the truth. I don't think she has any reason to lie about any of the things that she saw or what she felt. I think she definitely knew something was going on. Okay, so let's go over to this next one with LaToya Jackson on the Stern, Howard Stern.
The house all the time. They slept over all the time.
Yeah, that was normal.
She keeps changing her story. And I told Jay, I call him Jay, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my husband, Jack.
Right.
I call him Jay. I told Jay when we left your show one day.
Your mother calls him a monster.
Yeah, the monster Jack.
The monster Jack, yeah. You told Jay.
I told him, I said, you know what, Howard is smart. He knows something. I said, when he asked if you would ever let your children sleep with Michael, spend the night, I said, he knows something. He's onto something. And Jay said, what are you talking about? And I said, I just can't tell you, but he's onto something.
Well, I had said for years, how is it that even at these award shows that parents would allow these little children to sit on his lap, even if they were famous? And how is it that all of these young children are spending vacations and vacation time? It's amazing. But LaToya, you didn't offer...
You know, Howard, let me tell you something, though.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this to do anything to harm Michael or hurt him. I know a lot of his friends are going to dislike me for this, but what they don't understand is I have been an abused victim, and I know what it feels like, and I'm not going to stand by in silence and be a silent collaborator and let other kids be abused like this.
Why is everyone...
They don't know.
Why is everyone treating you like you're either hypnotized by Jack or that you are saying these things to get money? Why is that being said?
That's a good question. Because you know why? I'm definitely not saying that you get money. You don't get money when you do a press conference.
Right.
Well, you don't get money when you do the Morning America.
Right.
When you do the morning shows. You don't get money when you talk to you on the phone.
Right.
Exactly. There's no financial motivation here. It doesn't make any sense other than she's trying to come forward with the truth.
Right.
All of these are just like my mother is putting this in the people's minds so they can think, oh, she's just doing it for money.
Well, what you're
my
saying
mother is the one who's doing everything for money because you know why? Once Michael's gone or whatever happens, or he stops talking to her, the bank check stops because he pays her every single of 2 weeks. He gives her money.
And the point is, do you need money?
And she supports everybody. My mother supports everybody in that family. Jermaine lives in that house with his kids.
Right.
My other brothers live in that house with his kids. So they have to stand up and say these things. But I'm not going to lie and let innocent children be scarred for a lifetime like I was. It's a terrible thing.
And you don't need money, right?
No, I don't, because you know why? I work every single day practically of my life.
And as someone told me, you make a couple of $1 million in a few weeks. Is that true?
Well, not in a few weeks.
That's what someone told us yesterday. You actually, through your touring and stuff and going around...
Yes. I get paid very, very handsomely for what I do, and I work hard at it. Don't think it's free either. When I say free, it's not like I do nothing and get paid a lot of money for nothing.
So, LaToya...
I work very hard.
So what you're saying is that you felt an obligation to these children who are spending all this time together. Now, why do you think more children haven't come forward?
I think that, well, first of all, I know for a fact that there are a lot of children that are a lot older now, and they probably have girlfriends, and they're afraid and embarrassed because they don't want anyone to know that happened to them when they were so infatuated at a young age.
So here we have an admission that there are other victims that are older now, that likely have girlfriends, that likely feel embarrassed, typical of what we see in male victims of pedophilia, of child sexual abuse. This is why it takes so long for them to come forward. It takes a long time for a young boy to grow into a man, to understand what exactly has happened.
We lived at home. My mother knew everything that was going on. I have to admit, when I lived at home, I was a bit innocent.
But did your mother try to talk to Michael about it? Did she try to say, hey, listen, what you're doing is wrong, or she just played into it?
No, my mother she's actually the one who showed me the checks that were written, and I didn't understand it.
So he would write checks to people, and you're saying he would pay off the parents and say, hey, look.
To the children's parents, they were never like kids over at abundance. They were always like one at a time or whatever.
But why would a parent...
And one would go, then another one would come, and then all of a sudden my mother would snoop in his room, and she'd say, come here, I gotta show you something. I go, what, Mother? I said, don't go in his drawer. He's going to think it's me. He's going to be upset. That kind of thing. And she would show me these checks. I go, what? So what about...
So how did she explain the checks?
Look at the amount. And you know how much the amounts were for?
What?
How much?
$1 million.
$1 million? You're saying
$1 million.
$1 million checks plus Rolls Royces.
Wow. Who's that? This
What
Jack.
beep?
Hey, Jack, what's that beep?
Because he's picked up another line. Jay, you have to hang up.
Yeah, get off the phone. Jack.
Okay, $1 million check plus a Rolls Royce. It's been stated that he gave one of the parents, and I believe this is Jimmy Safechuck's father, a Rolls Royce.
Jack, hang up.
Oh, yeah, I am.
Jack. Jack trying to get in on the conversation.
You know, he can't
Yes,
stand.
because he knows these checks were written for $1 million.
$1 million?
Now, let me get this straight. Why would your
And I
mother...
would say
But why would your mother show you the checks for the $1 million? I'm just curious.
she was outraged.
Right.
When she went ballistic when she saw this. She says, I said, so what? That's somebody that he likes. He wrote a check for. She goes, look at it good. You know who this is? She goes, this is Jimmy Safechuck. This is a little boy that comes over here that stays with him and stays in that room, and he locks himself up in the room with him. He sleeps in this.
She says his name, Jimmy Safechuck. She says his name. She saw a check written out to his parents. Now, what are the chances of this kid lying about this years and years later? LaToya, when she came out, I remember specifically when she came out, she was ridiculed by so many people in the media. Nobody wanted to listen to her. Nobody did listen to her because everybody said, oh, LaToya's crazy. She's gone off the deep end. Listen to her. Oh, she's so crazy. I can't remember if she had already posed nude in Playboy yet. I think it was Playboy. I forget. But everyone had just assumed she was crazy. She was lying. She's doing it for publicity. Nobody listened to her. Howard Stern is probably the only one who actually gave her a chance and heard her story and heard her out and gave her some credibility.
Same bed with him. I just sleeps in the same bed with him. And she goes, yes, what do you think they do up there, LaToya?
Well,
And she knows all this, and she knows it's true, and she gets on television and she lies. I'm not doing this for money, Larry. I'm sorry, Howard, you're not paying me.
right. Who do you think I am, Larry King?
You're getting ready to talk to Larry King.
You're getting ready to talk to Larry King, LaToya.
Absolutely not. I am not. No, really, it's true. I am not. Honestly, guys,
But listen,
I'm not.
LaToya, listen. What is it, Jackie?
Could you imagine being a family and your 8-year-old kid comes home with a check? Mommy, look what I got.
Nah, here's how it goes.
No,
The way I
it's given,
I think it's given to the parents. It's not given to the
That's
kid.
right.
I think it's given to the
And
parents.
you're not saying this is a payoff to keep them quiet after they start to blab. This is payment before?
It's almost like
No.
it's almost like while it's going on.
Like your son's
Thank
my
you.
friend, and I
Yeah,
really
Howard
like
got it.
Yeah, it would almost be like, hey, here's $1 million. Come on, let me
Yeah.
play with your kid.
Be happy.
Oh, Howard got it. It's apparently, I'm not saying it is, but apparently it was to buy their silence
Wow.
for their children.
So now,
And
but
why else would it be?
No.
But I'm saying this because these kids, you know, they're infatuated. He shows them the world, and he puts them on big planes and flies them around and sends planes for them. And my point is, yes, that's all good and wonderful, and the parents and mothers are loving it. However, what happens later on in life?
So you've been
When
living-
they get too old, and he tosses them to the side after 13 or whatever and say, you're too old for me.
So you've
And
been
he goes
living-
to another one.
so you've been living with this secret.
So she just laid out exactly what all of us have been trying to say. People like myself, we've been trying to say this for years. This is what he does. He hangs out with these boys so they get to a certain age, and then he's on to the next one before they can even bat an eye.
For a long time, and it's been eating away at you, right? And now that it's come up in the news, you've been waiting and waiting and waiting. Finally, you said, I can't take this anymore?
Well, it's not that I knew for sure because I had never seen him in the act, so
Right.
I cannot say. And like I said, I don't want to be a silent collaborator. That's why I'm speaking out.
Right.
But you know something is going on, but you don't know exactly what.
Again, she's not exaggerating. She's not saying anything that she didn't see. There's no exaggeration here, is what I'm trying to say. If she were lying, and she knew she were lying, she would add more details. She would come up with more things to say. She's only telling what she knows.
Because it's too strange, it's too weird, and...
So all you're saying is-
This is escalated?
So approximately how many of these checks do you think were written?
Well, I've only seen 2. My mother showed me 2.
Right.
When she showed me both of them the same day.
And Robin said...
Two. 2 checks. So here again, she is consistent and she's not exaggerating.
And I just...
Do you think this is escalating now?
It's like, he spends, it used to be a few days at a time. He spent 30 consecutive nights, supposedly, with this one 13-year-old boy.
It's Jordy.
Yeah.
No, Jordy, I don't know at all. And it's
So,
really
LaToya,
sad.
you're saying...
Of course, you guys have never seen him, but he's plastered all over the papers in Europe. Everybody knows what he looks like. He could never walk the streets in Europe.
But let me ask you this. See, here's the thing. You've never really seen him in bed with a kid, right?
No, I've never seen them in action, no.
So what you're really saying is you just know that money was given to the families of children, but you don't know, in fact, if he had sex with them.
But you
No,
are
I
saying...
You're saying
that-
it was inappropriate.
No, you are
I know.
saying... Wait a minute, that by 13, they were getting too old for him, and he would no longer want to be bothered.
Well, yeah, there were other kids.
What is it, Baba Booey?
Well, 2 things. First of all, lawyer Dominic Barber just called and said the reason why the parents aren't stepping forward is because when you accept money for something like that, that's a felony.
Right.
And they'd be
There is,
admitted.
and the parents are just as guilty, and they will go to prison as well. They're just as guilty of the crime.
Yeah, I think...
They're soliciting their children.
But how many people could he have paid off? I mean, my God.
You know what's weird, too? But you know what's weird, too? Like we said, LaToya Jackson was coming on. I think LaToya should come forward with this information.
I agree 100%.
I've seen her and Jack together quite a few times. I don't think LaToya is the type that is being led around by Jack. I just don't.
No.
I don't think
you've seen us together. Larry, does it look like
Howard. LaToya, I thought we were close.
Sorry.
I thought we were...
Who is this Larry you got on your mind?
Who is Larry that you have in your mind?
Okay, I'll tell you. There's a guy here that's working for us, and everything that he does, well, his name is Larry, and I call him every second. Larry, can you get this for me? Larry, can you get that? And I've been not that I want to just run you around or anything like that.
Yeah, but you might be horny for Larry, I think, because you have him so on your... I think that, you and Jack, of course, don't have sexual activity, and I'm getting a feeling that you want Larry. True?
I just wrote your name down in big letters so I can call you Howard.
But you want Larry, don't you? Is Larry handsome?
I don't pay attention to that.
Oh.
No, I don't.
LaToya.
So, honestly, he is, but I don't pay attention to it.
Yeah, but you would like to be with him, wouldn't you?
No, but Howard, let me just get one thing straight. This is a very important issue, and we need to bring a stop to it. And that's why I spoke out, because I could not stand it. Did you see how old those men were and they were crying? And one who said, I never knew what my life was like. I was an alcoholic. I did things that were terrible because I didn't know what to do. That's how it harms you. You don't know what to do.
Don't
if
you
Michael
think, though...
has problems,
Don't you
he
think...
could have gone to a psychiatrist or something.
Right. You're absolutely right. I think stepping forward was the right thing to do. I don't
what do you think about...
And if he was gay, he should have gone with men his own age, but not pick on innocent little children.
Thank you. If he was gay, it would only be so much easier. Michael Jackson, if only he were gay, could have helped the gay movement so much sooner. But he wasn't gay. He was a pedophile.
Leave them alone.
Pedophilia and being gay don't have anything to do with each other. Let's point that out.
Hey, you don't know,
Just
Robin.
because...
I don't know.
No, it's true. It's true. Pedophilia
But Robin,
is
a lot of people,
problem.
a lot of people want to dislike me and say what I'm doing is wrong.
Now, I got to tell you
And I have
something.
to say this to all those people, the Katie Kirks of the world, and all these other people who would just say that's wrong for her to do this.
Who said it's
not
wrong?
wrong because I'm helping other children. I'm saving other children's lives. And who in the world will let a 35-year-old man sleep with their kids not only a week, 30 days, or even longer or shorter, and fly them across the world and sleep in the same bed, and they walk in there and see them sleeping in the same bed?
Let me tell you
Who in
something.
the world would do that?
After you made this statement, like yesterday we had those Wilson sisters in from
Yes.
Wilson Phillips.
Yes.
They were saying,
Yes.
oh, we don't like what LaToya's been saying. We're very
And I told
upset
you,
about
Queen
it.
Latifah was
Queen
saying it on
Latifah
the
was saying,
Billboard Awards.
they had the Billboard Awards. Everyone, it was like an anti-LaToya.
See, this is what I'm talking about. It was an anti-LaToya movement at the time. I remember it very, very well. And it pains me that I look back on this and I think to myself, my God, I didn't listen. I listened to all these other people that were saying she was crazy or she was wrong. She was dead right.
Award show. And I got to say something. What is that, LaToya? Hello?
She's talking to
Yes,
Jack.
I'm here.
Oh, tell Jack to leave you alone. Did you see the Billboard Awards? They were carrying on like it was an anti-LaToya award show. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
So the point is...
You know why? You know, you should stress this on your show, Larry. Howard, this is very important.
Listen, I'm going to tell you about this. Would you pay Larry's parents $1 million for sex?
Absolutely not.
But where is this Larry? I want to meet him. He must be some good-looking Israeli guy.
Put Larry on.
Yeah,
but you know what you should do? What you should let these people know is that if it wasn't Michael and it was any other person on the street doing this, the first thing they would say is this guy should be under the jail cell. And I'm not saying that he should
But
be.
of course, and you want to know something? If it was anybody else, they would be applauding you.
You tell this Wilson Phillips, they don't know, they didn't live with him.
Yeah.
He never had little girls over.
Well,
Exactly. If it was anybody else that was doing this type of behavior consistently, years upon years upon years, everyone would know that that person was a pedophile. But because it's Michael Jackson, oh boy, we got to make excuses for him. We got to talk about his missing childhood. We got to talk about how awful it is for Michael. Everyone's just targeting him. He's such a victim. Please.
Well, let me tell you
There's
something.
always little boys.
You're absolutely right. If this was any other case, and it wasn't Michael Jackson, you would see that they would say, wow, the sister was really great. She came forward and she talked about it.
You'd be a hero.
You would be a hero. But,
Queen Latifah's, they didn't sleep there. They didn't know. They weren't at my house. They don't know Michael.
oh, she's a hard-on. Don't worry about Queen Latifah. But, you know, it's really funny. Corey Feldman called us because he slept with Michael. He slept
Corey
with...
Feldman has been over to the house.
Yes.
Whether they slept together or not, I know he was slept in the room.
Yeah, he slept in the room. And Corey said, when LaToya's on, let me call in. I'm going to tell her she's a liar. Now, why is he reacting that
No,
way?
he slept in the room, like I just told you. I don't know if they slept together or
Right.
not, but I know that they probably did not sleep together because when Corey Feldman was at the house, Michael didn't like Corey Feldman. He says, I wish he would get out of here. He's too old. I don't want to be bothered with him.
Really? Oh,
That's
that's
exactly
interesting.
what he said about Corey Feldman. He said, he's too old and I don't want to be bothered with him.
He's rejected.
He was
And
rejected.
I kept saying, he's going to hear you. And Corey would tell him, but my father's an alcoholic and he's no good. My father's a drug. He was going on and on.
Really?
He wanted Michael to adopt him.
Well, where's
Yes,
Corey?
he did. And Michael says, I don't want to
Is
be
that
bothered
him?
with this.
Yeah, Corey.
Oh, wait. Corey, you want to talk to Corey, LaToya? Here, hold on.
I was right there.
Hold on, wait.
On the phone.
Here he is. Hey, Corey.
Yeah.
Now, what LaToya is saying is that Michael didn't really like
Oh,
you.
boy. You know, I was listening to this whole conversation. I was trying to think, maybe this isn't a good idea. But now that I've heard LaToya lie about...
But why do you say she's
Why
lying?
do you say she's lying?
Why she
Well,
said...
she,
But,
she just lied about me personally.
well, how do you know that
I
Michael
never lied
Jackson...
about you. The only thing I said was you
Because
probably
I
took
can
the
tell
night
you,
over.
hold on. Because first of all, I can tell you that I never told Michael anything about my father, and the only reason she's saying that is because LaToya and Jack went to my father for management a couple
That's
years
not true at
ago,
all.
and
That's
this is
not
stuff
true.
that my father obviously told her. So, because I
That's
never
not true at all.
discussed my dad with Michael ever. So that
LaToya-
was all completely made up.
So
That's
you're
not
saying
true
that your
at all.
father never even had a drinking problem or anything?
No, my dad was never a drinker.
Right. And
Was it your...
He never discussed anything with Michael concerning his father. That's funny because I remember a movie that was made, 2 years now or 1 year? What was it? The Tale of Two Coreys? And there's a whole scene about how he's talking to Michael Jackson about his father.
Your mother then? It was somebody in your family because Michael came back and told me. He told me the same night you were there at the house. And I was afraid you were going to hear him because you were a young boy.
LaToya,
And I was afraid.
the only time that you
And
were
I
ever
said,
there
Michael,
when
he's
I
going
was
to hear
there,
you. I don't
you
even
were
want to
there
talk
you were there
to
one
Corey.
time.
that the money was exchanged?
It's possible that
Okay, I gotta start this over. Hold on.
And I
LaToya,
was afraid.
the only time that you
And
were
I
ever
said,
there
Michael,
when
he's
I
going
was
to hear
there,
you. I don't
you
even
were
want to
there
talk to
you were there one time.
He knows the truth.
Now, Corey, now let me ask you something, Corey. You're angry with LaToya, but she says she saw checks, and she saw lots of young boys coming in and out of the house. Why would you
And
call
what
her a
else did
liar?
I say?
Well, there were
And I
young
said,
boys coming in and out of the house. There were young girls coming in and out of the house.
You
That's
saw
young
girls.
everything. What does that have to do with anything?
Well, is it possible that something occurred and that the money was exchanged?
It's possible that money was
With
exchanged.
Corey,
then why
no,
would you-
because he didn't
I mean,
like Corey.
I don't know
So
what
with Corey,
Michael-
absolutely not.
You know that Michael has been giving money to charity and to people that he cares about forever.
Yes, he
And-
has been giving money to people to charity. That's very true.
Okay, so...
But you
is
know
it
what, Corey?
completely
He's not your
impossible
brother.
that
You
maybe
did not
he
live
was
with him, and you don't know him. So who are you to make these statements?
Oh, I don't know him. Well, obviously I know him a
you
little better
don't. You
than
did not
do.
live with him, and you don't know him.
How? I mean,
Yes, you stayed the night over, and Michael didn't want you there. I'll say it right in your face. Because he emphatically didn't want you over.
Oh, okay. That's why I still talked to Michael 6 months ago. When's the last time you talked to Michael?
You know what?
Latoya?
You don't know Michael, though. Of course he'll smile in your face, and he smiled every time you came downstairs, too.
Yeah, but Corey, maybe...
You turned your back,
so he invited me over because he didn't want...
I like this. I'm actually enjoying this very much. I like Corey getting told off by LaToya.
like me.
But Corey, let me ask you
Wait,
something.
wait. Hold on,
Corey, you
Howard.
pushed her way over, remember? Every single time, because he would say, here he comes again. Oh, God.
Now, Corey, why did you...
No, Latoya,
And
hold
I know
on.
that hurts you to hear it, but
Hold
that's
on,
the truth. And you know what I said? I told Larry, I told him, I said, listen, I said, I'm sure he didn't sleep with Corey because of the way he felt about him.
You're talking about Howard now, not Larry.
Hey, Corey, why did your relationship with Michael taper off, though?
Howard.
Yes. Yeah, Corey, why did your relationship taper off with Michael, though?
It didn't taper off. As a matter of fact, I have a letter from him from 4 months ago when I had eye surgery because I was in the hospital and he was leaving for tour, and he wrote me a letter which I have right in front of me and I could read to you.
What does it say?
Okay, I'll read you this letter. This letter from Michael, dated 6/22/93, says, Dear Corey, I'm with you, Corey, and sending you happy get-well thoughts and all my love, Michael Jackson.
Now, that's a form letter. I got the same letter.
I wouldn't call that a letter. I'd call that a note.
That's a note. But anyway, but Corey, isn't it, in a sense, you want to defend Michael because, I'm just asking, I'm putting this thought in your head, you want to defend him because you did spend time in the bedroom and you don't want anyone to think that anything went on, not that anything did go on.
I don't care.
Nothing went on. Nothing went on.
Believe me.
Something went on with him and Corey.
Hold on.
didn't like Corey.
If something did go on with me, I would be more than happy to announce it because then I would be like everybody else and I'd jump on the bandwagon.
Right.
But that's not what it's about.
There is no bandwagon to jump on.
Now, why would LaToya... Let me ask you something, Corey. You seem to have some
Howard,
insight here.
you know what?
Why would LaToya...
If you're going to speak to me, put Corey off the phone.
All right.
Corey is not making any...
Can I ask one last question, Corey?
Wait, no. Hold
Corey,
on.
why would LaToya lie? Why would LaToya lie?
Hold on. Let me say something to LaToya.
Let me ask you something, Corey. Why would LaToya lie about this?
Because
what do you
she's very sick.
Why is she sick, though? How would you know that?
She seems to be managing her life. What's sick about her?
She's managing her life. She's the only person in that whole family that's never had a career. The only career she's had is based on her family.
But she has a career. She makes a lot of money.
That's not true at all, Corey. You know what? You have to stop and remember, I have 9 brothers and sisters, and you know what? You don't hear of any of them. They don't work. They can't get work. They can't do anything. Michael supports them, except for Janet. She's the only one, and myself. We support ourselves, and no one else. So you cannot say that.
Every time I ever saw you, okay, you and Michael were like best friends. You guys were so
Michael
close
and I were
together.
best friends, and that's why I know everything about him, and you don't.
No, so you guys were best friends, and now all of a sudden,
but you know what, Howard,
you decided that all these horrible things he did.
Yeah, all right, Corey, I'm going to stay with...
I'm not going to do that.
All right, I'll stay with LaToya. Corey, I'm going to...
He doesn't know what he's saying.
Corey,
I don't know what...
Corey, let me put you on hold. Yeah, let me say goodbye to Corey. All right.
Yeah, let's say goodbye to Corey. He didn't offer anything. And she's right. He was too old for Michael anyway by the time those two met. And it doesn't surprise me that Corey would annoy the hell out of Michael Jackson or anybody for that matter.
Say goodbye to each other. Hold on. Wait a second. LaToya? Hello?
Yes.
All right, Corey's gone. Well, listen, that's what's...
Corey's absolutely right. Michael did not like Corey. He felt he was too big and he was a pest. That's why I told you in the beginning, I don't think Michael ever slept with Corey at all. Never. Because that's how he felt about him.
And admittedly, you might have been confused about anything about Corey's parents because Corey says that he never told Michael Jackson any of that, and nor is it true.
But you know what? He did say that one parent was
Michael might have,
one was a drug addict, and Corey knows this.
Well, Michael might have said that just to be outrageous. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's true.
Yeah, you don't know if that is...
Well, he did corroborate what LaToya has said all along, that she and Michael were best friends when she lived at home.
That's right.
And he knows. He would see us whispering together, talking together, walking together. We did everything together.
But LaToya, let's just sum up by saying this. You never saw Michael Jackson have sex with any boys, but you are saying you saw checks that were paid to families, and you don't know if it was for sex or not, but you're just assuming it was because you thought it was...
I don't. My mother showed me, and she says, I said, Mother, so what? And she goes, well, what do you think this is for? Mm-hmm. I go, I don't know.
Right.
And she goes, don't stupid, LaToya. And that's exactly what she said. And she stormed out the room. She was very angry.
All right. I hear you.
She's totally aware of everything. She's the one that kind of planted the seed in my head to think,
do you think that...
going on?
Do you think you'll be called up as some kind of witness in any of this?
And here again, I just want to point out that she is consistent in everything that she is saying. She saw the checks. Her mother is the one who said put 2 and 2 together. And she did.
Well, they've been trying to subpoena me for a while now.
Right. Well, so you'll have to come and testify, right?
I really don't care to speak about that. I wouldn't really want to testify.
Right.
I really wouldn't.
Well, let me ask you something. What do you think Michael is going to do? There was word today that he's probably going to return to the country.
I'm going to ask you guys something, and I don't care what all these entertainers say because he's Michael Jackson. If he was a regular person, they would say immediately, this is wrong, lock this person up.
Right.
They would say that right away, and it's very, very wrong. I'm speaking out because I know what it feels like. I've gone through, and I'm not going to stand by and be an accomplice and let it happen again.
LaToya, let me tell you something.
At the same time, why is he running? What is he running from? If you're innocent, why do you run?
That's right. Well, let me say something. Let me tell you something, LaToya. You absolutely have an obligation to say whatever you know, because if there is child abuse, you're doing the right thing. And I'm going to tell you something. If a brother of mine was a child abuser, the second I had a thought that he was abusing children, I would confront him. I would say, "Are you abusing children?" He'd probably say no. I'd say, "I suspect that you are, and I have to report you," because I'm going to tell you something. That's the worst offense in the world. So if you have a feeling that something was going on that was wrong, or you were a witness to something that was that wrong, even though it's your brother and it kills you to do it, you have I think I can't certainly disagree with your decision to come forward.
You know,
and this is not a new
I really
story.
respect what you're saying. You're a very bright man, and you must understand this was a hard decision for me to make.
Of course it is.
It was tearing me to pieces inside, and then for the public to do this to me, to denounce me for saying something that's
well,
true,
I'm not denouncing you. I'm not denouncing
you.
you.
Not.
That's
you're
right.
Not at all. But that's what makes you so smart, simply because you understand and you know how painful and how.
I say, let's get to the truth.
Stop.
Let's get to the truth
of it.
Well, for
and
people who think that this is a Johnny-come-lately story that you've just made up, this is not true. She has been grappling with this for a long time.
Yep.
Because she had mentioned it to me before.
Yep, she had mentioned it to us. And let me
tell you something, Howard and Robin. I'm going to tell you something. Like Corey said, Michael's nice and he gives to charity and all these things. Yes, he gives to charity and he's nice and he does all these things. But let me tell you something. Whenever there's a serial killer, what do you hear all the neighbors saying and everybody who knows him?
He was so nice.
Oh, he was the nicest guy in the world. He was so sweet, so kind to kids. He would never do a thing like that. We're so shocked.
Let me tell you something, LaToya. If you were here in the studio right now.
And of course, that's true. We all know this. We all know everyone is shocked when someone does something horrible or horrendous. That doesn't mean we should dumb ourselves down into thinking that these things are not possible, because they are. And everything we know, all the information that we have, we know what happened. We know why it happened.
Now talking to me, I would be cuddling you and comforting you, as a matter of fact, and holding you while you said these things to make you feel better.
Thank you, because you know why? It hurts so badly, and I feel like I have to fight and scream to get my point across, and I shouldn't have to. This is not my predicament. Michael put himself in this predicament. I shouldn't have to do this. I should have just been able to make a statement.
You felt obligated to come forward, and I applaud you for that.
And no, I'm not doing it for money. I haven't received a penny for it, and I'm sick of my mother saying that, and the rest of the world is writing off what she's saying. If she's the one, she's afraid the money is going to stop. That's her problem.
Well, LaToya, I want to thank you for calling in. When are you coming back? When are you coming back from Israel?
And for all those people who believe that he did not do it, I just feel sorry, because you know why? When it's your children and it's your child, you better think twice.
All right. Thanks, LaToya.
Thank you. Isn't that the truth? These people out there that are still defending Michael Jackson, they have their head in the sand. They are refusing to acknowledge the obvious, and I pray that they do not have children, and if they do, those children are in trouble, because those are the types of parents that will ignore reality They will ignore anything around them in order to avoid having to deal with the reality of any given situation.
All right, goodbye.
What's the matter? You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just that when you tell me about these award shows and it was...
It's upsetting. Well, it is.
Yeah, this was not an easy position to take.
No, it's not easy to do it.
It wasn't the easy thing to do.
I don't know why more people aren't interested in coming out to find out the truth. Of course we should
They don't
find
care
out.
about innocent children. They don't care about these kids that are being harmed and hurt and scarred for life. They only care about the fact that he's a star and we're not going to let this legend die.
So then you've done the right thing. LaToya, you've done the right thing.
I'm helping children.
You did the right
I will
thing.
always stand by
Then don't
and help
worry.
them.
Then don't even give it a second thought. You did the right thing, and you have to do what you think is right. Okay?
Thank you for giving me that support. I appreciate that, and I need
You're
it.
welcome. Thank you,
Okay.
LaToya.
Guys,
Bye-bye.
take care.
See you when you're back in New York.
Right. We'll see you later. Say goodbye, and say goodbye to Jack.
I
All right.
sure will.
Okay, bye-bye. That's LaToya Jackson. Heated argument between her and Corey Feldman.
Oof.
I felt it was fair to, of course, let Corey in on this. Where is Corey? Put him back on the
Want to put
phone.
him back on to,
Yes.
get his point of view, I suppose. He didn't get really to say much.
I was going to ask LaToya for a nude photo, but...
I think that would have been inappropriate.
Inappropriate, Robin? All right, I'll take a break. I'll get Corey back on the phone. But, no, I really am sincere when I say it. I don't think LaToya should sit quiet if she feels she knows something. Why should she? Why is
I
everyone
would be
so...
more suspicious of a guy if his sister did come out than to just start attacking the sister. I would say, let's take a closer look at this if his sister is saying these things. But everybody else just jumps on the bandwagon and says LaToya's a nut.
Yeah.
We'll have Corey back. Corey called as soon as he got disconnected, and he said, I got to get on after she's off.
Yeah, well, Corey is welcome anytime.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
LaToya's right, though. I mean, if it wasn't Michael, people,
Of course, they would already...
Everybody would say, what is that guy doing with all those children?
They are tiptoeing around
This is
him.
Hollywood. They're all fakes and phonies. Don't you see it? They all scream they worried about children and children's causes and all kinds of things. And now that an investigation's
Oprah
going
Winfrey,
on...
the big child advocate, she has nothing to say about this.
Nothing. You can't get a comment out of her.
She should at least say, hey, listen, he should be investigated, and if he's guilty, he's guilty.
And
if
if
he's
he
not...
Come forward and prove his innocence.
And if LaToya knows something, she should certainly open her mouth. You should applaud that.
It's very convincing.
You know, they always get mad in the newspaper when they say...
Interesting how they bring up Oprah, but of course she finally did turn around, thank goodness. But it's interesting that they brought her up.
How come the family never... How come no one stepped forward? So someone stepped forward. She says, listen, this is what I know. I want to
Right, look
stay...
at what happens to people who step forward.
I'm not going to say that I didn't see these checks. And she's not even saying she saw molestation. She's saying she saw checks.
I mean, if she was going to lie, why not lie and say, I saw him in bed with somebody?
Right. There's nothing wrong with it.
I just wish she hadn't called you Larry 20 times.
Didn't that ruin it?
Oh, man.
I can't believe she kept calling me Larry.
Right out of the
Do you
gate.
think it was Larry King she was thinking of?
No.
That was a pretty good cover story if she made that up. I don't think she made that up about having a guy there named Larry.
Well, you know, there's no secret out that Jack and LaToya do not experience sexual relations.
So she could be a little...
Well,
She could be frustrated and liking this guy Larry a
She
lot.
can be a little frustrated. And Larry the Jew, who lives in Israel, could be walking around in a Bippy shirt.
LaToya doesn't experience it. I got to feel with Jackson like another room.
Yeah.
Staring at her.
I like when Jack picks up the phone and LaToya yells at him to hang up.
Hang up the phone, Jack.
Hang up! Hang up the phone! Hang up!
Hang up, Jay.
Jack, I mean Larry, I mean Howard, I mean...
I'm taking your name down, Larry, so I don't call you the wrong name.
I wrote your name down, Larry. Now everything's fine.
And then 2 seconds later, she called you Larry.
No problem. Who cares? Listening to her and Corey yell at each other was worth it.
Now that everything's cleared up.
Well, now that wouldn't you love to be the judge on this case? You don't know him like I do. I do know him like you do.
I don't know him.
Your father was an alcoholic. My father never had a drink. Your mother was an alcoholic. My mother never had a
I
drink.
didn't like you anyway.
Screw you, Michael hates you.
I'm telling the truth, Your Majesty. I mean, Your Honor.
I mean, Larry. I mean, Howard. I mean, Jack. Jay. It's wild. It's wild stuff. We'll take a break. We'll be back right after these words. You're listening.
You know why? Because nobody confronted her ever in person.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you something. I gotta sort of say something to you here.
Okay.
You're a funny guy.
Thank you.
She is the guy's sister.
Right.
You admit she was his best friend.
And all she is saying, she has come forward and said that all she saw was checks.
Okay, no, wait.
So-
now, if that was all she said...
That's what I thought she said.
Okay, if... conference yesterday, he is molested. small children for years. I mean, that was her quote. He's molested small children for years.
And how do you know that's not true?
She couldn't say it was true. She couldn't sit there and say she saw it.
But you're calling up and saying that you, based on your one experience. Plus,
No.
Corey, you're not the best witness.
Okay.
Because I got to tell you
But
something.
how many people actually see molesters in the act?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
And it is true that when Corey was young, he was Michael Jackson's friend and did sleep in the same bed. Did you sleep in the same bed?
No, I slept in his
room.
bed that he did not sleep in.
Right.
Well, let me also say
But then again,
something
Michael Jackson
else.
wasn't attracted to Corey.
That
according to
LaToya said
Yeah,
that
according
Corey,
to LaToya. Okay,
wait a
and I
minute,
got
wait a
something
minute,
else.
Corey.
And Corey got upset because Michael doesn't like him.
But wait a
Yeah,
minute,
right.
Corey, she did corroborate something that you also told us, that you were the aggressor in your relationship with Michael Jackson.
But no, that's not true at all.
You told us.
You told us that.
No,
That you
Michael
pursued
called
him.
me. Michael invited me to his house. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think
Corey.
I mean, let me tell you something about Michael Jackson, okay? Michael Jackson has got like 300 people that work for him,
Yes.
including a full security team. And if Michael Jackson does not want somebody near him, he can very well avoid them from being near him.
Yes, it's true. He can. And guess who he chose to be around? Little boys.
Well,
It is
maybe
not hard at all.
Well, hey, by the way, you know, with Corey, you never know what you're getting either. Because
Right.
Corey, you've had a really screwed up life.
Yes.
Corey was.
And maybe you may not remember things. There were times.
Oh, please, Robin.
Corey, isn't it possible that you might have had sex with Michael
Get
Jackson?
outta here.
You know what I mean? Because like there were times you were so wasted, guys did get it on with you.
Well, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, you know, maybe if we hypnotize you, you could find a few things that might have happened.
Yeah.
Plus, Corey,
I
you're so.
thought it was a video, but...
Look, Corey, you're very ensconced in the whole show business thing. You know what I mean?
No. Let me tell you something. Okay, first of all...
That doesn't mean that he didn't molest children, but you're just going on record and saying, hey, I slept in the guy's room and he didn't molest me.
you.
Okay, I went on record saying that, but what I'm saying about LaToya is different.
Right,
okay?
you're saying that she has no concrete evidence either.
No, what I'm saying is that she's pissed me off, okay?
Right.
She's pissed me off because all of a sudden now she's a savior. Okay, if this was all true, why didn't she say something 5 years ago?
Because she didn't have the balls to say it.
Oh, she had the balls.
Wait a second, Corey. Wait a second.
3 years ago,
You're
to
telling
come
me-
out and say that her father abused her and sexually molested her, and she could come clean with all this other stuff and write her book and this whole bit. But
Yeah,
now
but-
all of a sudden she's gonna just remember this too.
I don't know. She's saying, hey, there's an investigation. I'm feeling guilty that I never stepped. There's lots of people who witness crimes and stuff
And don't say anything.
and never say a word for
But her
years.
whole trip before was that she was wiping the slate clean and she was bringing out everything that was, you know.
Corey, how long did it take you?
Before you came out on our show and spoke about...
Hey, when I was ready to be honest, I got honest about everything.
Oh, when he was ready to be honest. But he doesn't allow that same sentiment toward other people. He's just going to go ahead and attack LaToya because she didn't come out at a particular moment in time. This is exactly what all the defenders of Michael Jackson, this is exactly what they say. This person didn't come out at a time when they should have, so therefore they're lying.
And that was it. No, that's true. I mean,
Well,
once
maybe
I
that's the
decided
way
I
you
wanted
did
to be
That's
honest
why
about
Corey
my-
did it.
Huh?
So, Corey, that was very good when the two of you were going at it. I really enjoyed that. And by the way, LaToya did say stuff about your parents that is not true.
That's right.
Is your mother an alcoholic?
Well, my mother has had her problems.
Right. And your father is not an alcoholic?
No, my father smoked marijuana.
Right.
Well,
And-
then she had it absolutely right.
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't. She said they had a problem with it.
No,
Yeah, she said
there
I
was
was
a
going.
drug
She said I
problem
was
with
running
one
around
parent.
telling Michael that he was an alcoholic and this and that. And this is just BS.
Right.
She
you know.
said later, Corey, that, well, I know one parent had a drinking problem, another parent had a drug problem.
No, wrong.
See,
I mean,
it's wrong.
It
You
is?
know,
That's what Corey's saying. It's wrong.
He just said
Just 'cause
his mother
somebody
had a
sm-
drinking problem
just-
and his father smoked marijuana.
Yeah, but smoking marijuana isn't exactly a drug
To
problem.
LaToya, that may be drugs.
yeah, okay, yeah, but LaToya is perfect and innocent. She doesn't have sex with her.
Well, marijuana is a drug. The most dangerous thing about marijuana is that people go around thinking that it's not a drug and it doesn't do anything. It does.
Husband, but she poses for Playboy. It makes sense to me.
Yep. Well, I mean, evidently there's a lot of
stuff
confusion.
here doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean,
The only thing that makes sense is I think we had a very high tune-in
Yeah.
rate for that argument.
well, let me tell you something, man. The only reason I had to come on and talk to her was I was so frustrated.
Right. No, but you did the right thing. You came forward, you talked, you said your piece, and LaToya said her thing.
But let me ask you something.
What?
What do you think she has to gain by doing this?
I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. You know, I just know that there's something weird with her and that husband of hers.
There's no doubt that. She even says that.
Let me tell you something. I spent last weekend with the Jacksons.
Yeah.
Okay? I was at their house for the whole weekend with Kate and Joseph.
No wonder he's busy defending them. Look at the energy he's getting out of this.
Yeah, well, I spent the weekend with Kate and Joseph. Kate's sitting there practically crying.
Well, any mother would.
Huh?
Any mother would.
Yeah,
Well, of course. And she's sitting there looking me in the eyes going, Corey, Michael would call me up after being with children all day in the hospital, and he would say, God, they're in so much pain. I wish there was something I could do to help them, you know, with tears, crying on the phone to me. And how can they say this stuff is true? And how can my own daughter be out there saying all these horrible things about her brother and her family? You know, and when I look into a mother's eyes and see that, how am I supposed to?
When did you go to the ranch? When did you go to the LaToya? When did you go to the Jackson home?
Last weekend.
So how could the mother be crying about LaToya saying that? She didn't hold the press conference till yesterday.
She was saying about the other stuff that LaToya had said, not even getting into all of this.
Almost caught you, you tricky little.
No.
All right, hey Corey, I gotta go anyway. You know what? Well, who cares?
He slipped through again.
I'm too busy. He always has an answer, that Corey.
No, because I'm being honest.
Hey, I'm going to be out there signing books on Los Angeles.
Yeah, I want to see you. You always say that when you come out here, you want to get together.
Why don't you come over to the book signing?
Where's it at?
It's going to be at Book Soup.
On Sunset?
Sunset. I'll get there at 11 o'clock, and I'll sign anybody's book who gets there by noon. How's that?
Well,
bring the Jacksons.
Well, I want to come early so I can see you.
Oh.
Because otherwise it'll be a mob scene.
It will not. It's going to be fine.
Oh, please.
No. It's at Christmas time. No one's around.
It's at Christmas.
Yeah, a lot of people are out of the country.
No, man, because I can't show up there if it's going to be a whole mob thing, man.
I was talking to the guy who owns Book Soup, and I've got, so far I've lined up 5 supermodel-type bikini girls.
Corey thinks it's going to be a mob scene because of him. That's how his mind works.
To be in the window.
You want to be here.
So what time did you say
Corey,
to be there?
Yeah, I'm saying, if I tell you to be somewhere, just be there. And then I'm going to, I want a band to play, but I don't know which band.
Where are they going to play?
There's a place out front where they could actually play.
In front of the girls?
Yeah. So they could have something to dance to.
Let me ask you a question.
I would like to have Pearl Jam play, but...
Oh, yeah,
Is there going to be security there?
Either them or Guns N' Roses.
Of course there's going to be security.
I mean, will there be security so if I show up, they can, walk?
Yeah. Just wait online. They'll sign your book. Why do you have to cut in front of the line?
Well...
you know you're a big shot?
No, just because I thought maybe I could get closer
I have a woman on the phone upset
Howard.
with Corey.
You have a woman on the phone upset with Corey?
Yeah, upset with what Corey's saying.
Why is she upset?
Well, because she doesn't know why Corey doesn't have sympathy for these people who are molested, or allegedly molested.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
I think that Corey is basically saying that his experience was one not of being molested, and he said that basically he felt LaToya didn't have any evidence.
Correct.
Well, the pain that I'm feeling is, I saw LaToya on TV. I saw the pain that she's going through in her heart. Here she is. Not only is she a victim of child abuse, but now her brother, who's her best friend, she's telling the world, not only was he my best friend, but I had to keep this horrible secret because I really believe what my brother did was wrong. And I'm not going to stand.
Yeah.
What she's doing is coming out saving the children of the world. And, Michael Jackson, I believe, is being, really hypocritical. Save the children. For what? Himself?
Yeah,
for his bank account?
I'll tell you something. This woman has a point, Corey. I believe that what LaToya did as well was very brave. I don't see any... it's very hard...
He doesn't even know why she would do it. He can't come up with a good reason for
Exactly.
it.
That's right.
Well, the only reason I can come up with is the fact that she's very sick and she's doing it for attention.
She's sick because she was abused, Corey. What are you hiding from Michael? How much of a check did you get?
Ooh.
Oh, really?
Ooh. When's the last time you had a job?
I hadn't thought of that. This lady...
Let me tell you something, whatever your name is. I was molested as a child, okay? And
Corey's had everything.
When did you happen?
So Corey was molested as a child, but apparently no one else can be molested because Michael Jackson didn't molest him. Is that what we're going with? Is this his rationale?
For to check, okay?
He was high and some guy.
Yeah, right.
No, just seriously, Corey was high and some guy did some stuff to him.
Yeah, a guy who befriended him.
Yeah.
Oh, that is nauseating.
But although Corey hasn't gotten maybe physically a check, but he does get to go to the Jacksons' home. He does get to go to the compound.
Right, so it's to his best interest to keep his mouth shut.
Now, wait a minute, Howard. Howard, what is this?
LaToya went and got her own life.
So now you're turning on me.
No, he's
I'll
just
turn on
telling
you
the
as
truth,
I'll turn on you as long as
Open your
I.
eyes, man.
What was that, Howard?
I'm listening to the lady.
I'm telling Corey to open his eyes.
Oh, my eyes are wide open.
I don't think so, Corey. I think you're in as much
All right,
denial as
Corey.
the Jackson family.
Corey, I have a question for you. What do you think of this little 13-year-old boy?
I think that it's horrible what he's being put through.
Do you think he's lying?
I don't think he hasn't said anything.
Oh.
Have you heard from him?
Well, he has given a deposition, Corey.
Well, he gave a deposition, but we haven't heard from him. We haven't seen him on the witness stand.
All right, listen, I had enough of this. At this point, I've had enough.
Well, God bless you, Howard.
Oh,
Save
thank
the
you.
children.
Thank you.
Bye, Rob, and Merry
Bye-bye.
Christmas.
Same to you.
Merry Christmas.
What was that all about?
Just more tension.
Just somebody voicing.
I can't believe, Howard,
It's the roller coaster that's this show.
as long as we've been friends, that you would sit there and some chick calls up, and now you're alienating me.
Wait a minute, Corey, you called up to defend Michael Jackson. We let you defend.
Yeah, now we're all attacking you.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Have you ever seen Michael Jackson's penis?
No.
Is he half white and half black?
Tell the truth.
Half white and half black.
You've seen him with the shirt off?
No, he's got black. Yeah, he's got brown spots.
He has brown spots?
Yeah.
Really?
Like a zebra?
No, like spots, like
a leper?
Leopard.
Leopard. All right, listen, Corey, I got to go. I'll see you. You want to get together in California?
Yeah.
So come by. I'm telling you, there's going to be all kind of bikini girls in the window. It's Book Soup on Sunset, 11 o'clock on the...
And there'll be plenty of security.
There'll be plenty of security. Get right in.
Okay.
And play some music and the whole thing. You can get up and play a few tunes.
Okay.
You get up there and do that Michael Jackson dance you do.
Watch it.
He does a dance like Michael Jackson.
No, I won't be dancing like that right now.
He dances backwards.
I'm in mourning right now.
So you can't do that dance?
I'm in mourning. Yeah, I can't do anything.
What are you mourning?
He hasn't had a lesbian in 3 days.
I see.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
All right, I'll see you later.
All right.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
That's Corey Feldman. The guy with a wild past. I got to take a break.
I don't know if there are any good witnesses in this case.
Yeah. I got to take a break and then tell everybody what's going on everywhere.
Okay, so you get the gist. I just wanted to go over all of this and what LaToya said and the way she said it and how she said it, and this idea that the media attacked Michael Jackson is just absurd. As you heard from Howard Stern and Robin, both of them confirmed exactly what I've been saying. The media attacked LaToya. People went after anyone who said anything bad about Michael Jackson. The media did not attack Michael Jackson. It's the exact opposite. All right, I'll be back.